But ultimately, the other thing I'll say about him too is like we're talking about him ascending, and I'm getting pretty excited about where he ranks in the NFL quarterback spot. Look, I think that there's a possibility that he can regress, and think about Dak Prescott, who's a guy like we thought early in his career was going to sort of ascend into eliteness. When he started losing the tools that he had on offense, the support that he had on offense, and even on defense, right, in part because of his contract, we started to see him lose that edge that we saw earlier on, and he plateaued and maybe even declined, right? So I think that's the challenge that Jalen Hurts will face. We will ultimately see him lose A.J. Brown at some point, right? A.J. Brown's going to move on. He's going to retire, whatever. And he won't have one of the best receiving tandems in the NFL anymore unless Howie Roseman can do something remarkable, which he can. But I think at some point we're going to see that the weapons and the tools come down a little bit. And that will be the moment where we need to see Jalen Hurts grow. But until then, he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL because until then, he still has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and who else? Saquon Barkley.
This is where I'll make sure to give Howie his flowers and say, as long as he's calling the shots in Philly, I mean, there are going to be hits and misses, right? And Howie has plenty of misses, even though he deserves a ton of credit for this season. As long as he's there, he's going to do everything he can to make sure they're not trying to do more with less. That hasn't been the Eagles' ethos at any point in the last 8 years. And I think that's going to continue.